In the early months of this channel, I uploaded a video attacking a New Age worldview based loosely around the ideas of sacred geometry. As time has gone by, and I've learned more, it has become necessary to do a more in-depth follow-up so as to properly make some distinctions and more thoroughly explain why the particular branch of the concept I originally attacked is demonstrably false and immoral. If you aren't aware of sacred G, the historical understanding has held it to mean the geometric principles used in the planning and construction of religious structures, such as churches, and the creation of religious art. In this context, certain symbols, shapes, and proportions are given religious significance owing to the idea that God used math in the creation of the universe. Hence, they become sacred. Most of the sacred G proponents one encounters will understand it in this way. And let me be clear on this point now, I have no problem with it in this particular incarnation. For those who choose to use concepts such as the golden ratio and Pythagorean mathematics as inspiration in their art and architecture, I can only say, to each his own. As an atheist, I find the moniker sacred to be erroneous and unnecessary, since a simple stripping away of the religious wrapping paper reveals merely basic math. But if it works for you, that's your prerogative. However, there is another kind of sacred G, and it is, without apology, the focus for this video as well as for a significant portion of my utter disdain. When New Age mysticism and ignorance conspire to infect what was once just a harmless exaltation of rudimentary geometry, the resulting mutation is this man, Corey Herter. There is no better singular example of the perversion of this old age mathematical idea bent toward a reckless hunger for profit and abandonment of all ethics. My purpose in this video is twofold. First, I wish to articulate all the major glaring points against this man and his fraudulent movement so as to clearly expose them as the snake oil sales scam that they are. Finally, in doing so, I hope to inspire you, my fellow YouTubers, to unleash your own particular brand of skepticism against this kind of inglorious exploitation. The ground on this one is fertile and virtually untouched. There is literally so much muck to wade through, even on Corey Herter's website alone. I couldn't possibly cover it all, even if I tried. So, in what ways can we tell Corey Herter's sacred geometry is a scam? What red flags go up? Though this pains me, to find out, we must examine his videos directly. Red flag number 1. Nothing Corey says makes any sense.
The sacred geometry, to me, is literally the foundation of all of life. It's the mathematics behind space itself. Everything, as we look closer and closer, deeper into life, we really just find out that we're made up of empty space. And then even more empty space. And of course, even more empty space. So what sacred geometry is literally the structure of how nature builds our reality for us.
Point 1. Nature does not build reality. I don't even know what that's supposed to mean. Point 2. You said sacred geometry describes the structure of nature, but that nature is made up of empty space the more we look. How can empty space have structure? Point 3. While atoms do contain empty space, everything is fundamentally made of subatomic particles. You clearly have no grasp of this and are therefore wrong when you say that everything is empty space.
The more energy you get, the higher level of energy that's in your environment, the more effectively you're going to function.
So if I touch a downed power line and 100,000 volts of electricity go coursing through my body, I'm going to function more effectively?
So what we have here is a pyramid, just drawn flat as a triangle. And what's really interesting about a pyramid is it's always shown with this capstone. almost like that it's different than the rest of the pyramid.
Well, of course it is when you draw it that way.
There's something that draws our attention up to here. Sometimes it's got a little eye inside. Sometimes it's floating above.
Note the use of money in that clip because, of course, success and fortune are things he wants you to associate with this.
And sometimes one of the easiest ways to actually identify what something is to simply just get rid of it altogether.
Hey, what's this? I don't know. Let's get rid of it. Oh, look at that. It was a red flag.
Let's take these 6 pyramids, which we know are used to create a cube, and let's stick them back together just so that we get a chance to touch base with who we are again, back with Source, which is, of course, the cube.
Wait, what is this Source? Why is it the cube? And how is a cube who we are? You see what I mean? None of this makes sense.
We know there's 6 pyramids, and if you draw them out properly, what you get is the shape of a cross.
Why is making them into a cross drawing them quote-unquote properly?
Which really goes to signify that we're definitely on track to something very spiritual.
Let me show you how much sense all of that made. Here are 3 circles. If you draw them out properly, it looks like a snowman. Add a little pyramid, some more circles, and some lines, and it really goes to signify that we're definitely on track to something very Christmassy. Significance? None.
Jesus in Christianity is symbolized through the cross itself. And as we know, 6 pyramids put together creates a cube, which is literally the source of life, or source energy.
Why?
Which people also refer to as God.
So God's a cube. Well, alright, you get the point. And there's more. So much more stuff he says that makes no sense. But for time's sake, we have to keep going. Second major red flag. Where's the math? There's no math. I consider this the most pertinent and glaring problem. I'm no mathematician, but when I was taking geometry in high school, I seem to remember lots of these. Equations, formulas, ratios, important geometrical stuff. How can this claim to be sacred geometry if it doesn't even include the basic principles of regular geometry? If you're masochistic like me, you can search through Corey Herter's entire video catalog and you'll never see any of these. And I know what you're thinking. Hey, he's doing math right there. But he isn't really. He's just making crude guesses at the degrees of angles he draws. He's not even using a protractor. That's not geometry. That's a red flag. Whatever happened to area equals length times width? You'll find none of that here, and that in itself speaks volumes. Moving right along, third major red flag, outrageous claims that can't be tested. For this I'm going to play a series of clips for you wherein Corey makes several sensational assertions. For each one, I want you to ask yourself 3 questions. 1. Can Corey prove his assertion? 2. Can that proof be verified through testing? If so, how? 3. Is this something that likely happened, or is it more likely Corey made it up to sell his equipment?
Back in 2000, I was given instructions on how to build this bed called the enhancer system. And this bed combined all these different types of vibrational energy in extreme levels. And the experience from this bed essentially took us, or gave us the experience of going actually into the light, through the tunnel, being absorbed with this light, literally to where our identity completely just vaporized as we became immersed in this infinite cloud that just expanded out forever, and you were just this sensation, this awareness. I've missed this oil all over my body when I went to this bed, and it would just completely activate my entire physical body. And it was one of the key ingredients for enabling myself to literally just lift right out of my physical body when we were doing a deep meditation on this bed system. So if you do any type of meditation or anything, that's what you're going to want this oil for, right? It's blasting, it's opening up people's body, it's opening up energy. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Corey Herter. I'm the creator of Sacred G, and I found Sacred G from a culmination of over 300 near-death experiences, spending over 1,000 hours on the other side. And I spent some time with some really enlightened, amazing beings on the other side. And as I talked to them and as I got to know them, I started asking them questions because they seemed to be good at everything that they did. They knew so much. They had so much information. And at first I was just in awe. I was struck by the amount of light and potential and ability that these beings held. And eventually I kind of got used to it, and I started asking them some real big, deep questions, such as, how do you know all this information? How can you have possibly trained your body this way? I mean, we only live like 80 years. What's your secret? And the message they gave me was so profound. They said, Corey, the moment you believe that death is inevitable, you have forgot your purpose in life.
Let me just state this clearly. Corey Herter claims to have communed with some kind of creatures from some other realm of existence. So, now it all comes down to this. The main reason I made this video. And I'm afraid to say it gets even worse. At the beginning, I said I would try to show why Corey Herter's claims were fraudulent and immoral. This is where Sacred G goes from being harmless tripe to being downright disgusting and potentially dangerous. With a video titled, The #1 Reason for Every Health Problem.
I always get a lot of questions about, will Sacred G technology help with this health problem or with that health problem? There really only is one health problem. Even though I've talked about this a lot, I'm just going to do it real simple here. There's only one health problem. That is a lack of energy for your body to operate with. You have values inside, things that you value more than others. So your brain takes that, interprets it as you value this part of your body or this organ more so than these other organs. So if your body lacks energy, it's going to shut down the organs that you don't value as much. There's all these different systems inside the body, and because of your value system, certain systems you value more than others, and the brain just takes that and interprets it and says, okay, these systems are going to get the energy that's needed, we'll keep these systems active, these other systems, no, we're going to shut down because we don't have enough energy to run them all. And those are all your different customized diseases which you've created for yourself based off your own value systems. All you got to do is supply your body more energy, and it says, oh, we've got enough energy, we can reload these systems back up, and that's your healing. You're healing yourself from inside. All you're doing is freeing up the energy. That's it. There's only one illness, and that is simply a lack of energy. And it's not even that it's a lack of energy, it's that it's an unorganized system. It's that you've got energy stored in toxins. You've got energy stored in emotions. You've got all this extra energy inside that's not being utilized properly. When you start using Sacred G, all it does is reorganize and restructure all your systems in your body so they start functioning effectively again, freeing up this energy so your body can heal itself. Again, there's only one single ailment on the planet, and that is simply a lack of energy.
You fucking scumbag. So hopefully this video will have some kind of impact. If you were taken aback by the less humorous and somewhat angry tone here, the reason is this. I lost someone I deeply cared for some time ago to cancer, a disease very much not caused by any lack of energy. During his last weeks, when all hope had long since vanished, the person I loved was considering alternative treatment from sources outside the medical world. Just one of hundreds of things that happened then which broke my heart. It wasn't sacred geometry, but it might as well have been. The only thing worse than having no hope at all is having some scam artist trick money out of the sick, the desperate, and the dying in exchange for false hope. While some people might very well deserve to be suckered, no one on earth deserves that. I have made an attempt to report Corey Herter to the FDA for the claims his website makes regarding specific health issues, which he asserts can be healed by his $1,000 technology. So far I have received no reply. I will keep trying, but in the meantime, the best thing you can do is arm yourself with reason and critical thinking. Examine everything the way we have examined this today, and do what you can to ensure the parasites of this world don't get away unchallenged. Because the next person they scam might be someone you care about. I've linked Corey's website as well as his YouTube channel and the FDA website in the description if you're looking for a good place to start. Thanks for watching.